Mountain biking is a growing part of the tourism and recreation industry in the Great Lakes region. And in Michigan's Keweenaw Peninsula, there's an ever-expanding network of mountain biking trails. For our first story, Ian Solomon went to Copper Harbor, Michigan, both to ride the trails and to see what goes into building them.
Picturesque Copper Harbor, Michigan is an outdoor fanatic's paradise, with abundant opportunities to unplug and enjoy nature. It's also considered a premier destination for mountain biking enthusiasts, and I'm here to check it out.
So I'm here at East Bluff Bike Park to do a little mountain biking and also learn a bit about this place.
Copper Harbor is near the northern tip of Michigan's Keweenaw Peninsula, and East Bluff Bike Park is a few miles further east. I'm meeting up with Aaron Rogers, owner of the park and founder of Rock Solid Trail Contracting, the largest trail building company in the world. They designed and built all the trails here, and he agreed to show me around.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going, Ian? You guys
good.
ready to hit the trails?
Definitely. Let's
All
do
right,
it.
Let's do it.
Right here.
We bought this property with the intention of building mountain bike trails here, primarily because the terrain is very desirable compared to the terrain in Copper Harbor. The terrain in Copper Harbor is definitely more aggressive, more pronounced, a lot rockier, and it just makes for a more advanced experience for people. And so, people have been saying for years when they come up to Copper Harbor, it's just like, well, there's not a lot of family-friendly trails here. And that's one thing we knew we could accommodate here at East Bluff.
Aaron and his team specialize in building trails that feature a design concept called flow. Flow gives riders the experience of effortlessly moving along the trail, just like a roller coaster, but on dirt. It creates a fun experience for riders, including newbies like me.
We're trying to get more people on bikes. We're trying to get more people out in the woods and more people getting involved with some sort of physical fitness. And we want to make sure the trails that we're building these days are inclusive, right? So it's like we're making sure that the main corridors, the main arteries are capable of handling families.
To do so, trails include special features that riders can choose based on their skill level.
So yeah, this is one of the many alternative features along this trail. And so if you're a beginner rider, follow the easier path. And then the more advanced rider can hit the jumps. They can hit the rock features and have a good time.
Wow.
So
yeah, I think I'll stay on the beginner trails this time. How do you think building out these trails and making it an inclusive area will affect the larger community around the space?
Well, trails are becoming big business these days because they're becoming a very large portion of the economy. And I think what we're seeing as a national trend is there's kind of this shift for rural communities that have high recreational value to be kind of building their economy off these experience-based activities like mountain biking.
A sustainable revenue source is a breath of fresh air for an area like Copper Harbor that has seen extractive industries like mining and timber come and go. In contrast, when Rock Solid designs a trail, land conservation is a high priority.
Conservation is kind of one of the big components of what we're trying to accomplish. We can kind of make these minimally invasive trails and then utilize those trails to draw people in so they can continue having this experience for years to come.
To make the trails durable, interesting, and sustainable, Aaron turns to John Shuby, his resident ecologist and lead trail planner.
All right, John, so when looking at a forested area that you think may have a good potential for bike trails, what are you looking for?
Well, there's a few things that I look for. First of all, we're on mountain bikes, so we want to try and find an area with some good topography. Here at East Bluff, our trails here take advantage of over 500 feet of vert, and that means that on our fastest trail, it takes over 4 minutes for some of our fastest riders to get from the top to the bottom. So that's a pretty exciting, exhilarating experience that we want to try and take advantage of when we're looking for a place to build trails. A second thing we want to look for is a forested landscape. There's a number of reasons for that. Primarily, it's beautiful. You can hear the birds singing. We're here next to these large cedar trees. It's just a very nice experience for the rider to get out into the woods. And then also the trees provide protection to the trails. We also look to have large tracts of land. So those kind of elements combine for a memorable experience, and that's really the core of what you're looking for when you're making mountain bike trails.
When planning new trails, John and his team take many ecological factors into consideration, like the placement of waterways and old-growth trees.
We want to go by big trees because they're really neat, and so we always try to make sure the builders know they're there. And if we're going to be disturbing trees in those areas, we're probably going to choose a sapling that's maybe 10 years old or younger and disturb that tree versus the roots of a legacy or heritage old growth style tree.
Whenever possible, John and his team use local, native materials to reduce the environmental footprint of construction. This new bridge features timber and rocks harvested from the park, and the results are pretty cool.
Anytime we can use natural materials or native materials, it looks like it fits in. And all these rocks just kind of fit naturally into the environment.
I'm loving this balance between the enjoyment of the rider as well as making sure that the ecosystem stays in place. Does that sometimes get difficult?
You might have sensitive nesting species such as a bald eagle, in which case usually construction is restricted within about 330 feet of that nest during the breeding season to make sure that those birds aren't disturbed.
And one of the coolest aspects of their work is that they create access to places that weren't previously accessible. Case in point, Devil's Den State Park in Arkansas.
We literally built a trail through a boulder field underneath cliff lines.
Wow.
That you really couldn't even hike for. And now there's maybe a 2-foot or 3-foot wide corridor through there that you can ride your bike through and experience these amazing cliffs with very little environmental disturbance.
All right, so I'm really excited for Aaron to roll up on us soon so we can actually do some mountain biking.
These trails are designed and built with conservation in mind, but they also have to be a fun ride for mountain bikers, and I'm here to tell you they are. I understand what they mean by flow. It was like all I had to do was stay on track and keep my balance, and I was guaranteed to have a good time.
So in my limited experience of today, that is an absolutely exhilarating experience. And this isn't just, of course, my first time on the trail, but my first time mountain biking in general. And I was able to go down that trail. I expected to have to stop and get a little scared, but I was ripping it in my opinion. And I can see where you guys really put that thought and effort into creating that flow for everyone, including a beginner like me.
Well, it's been a great day of riding around East Bluff Bike Park. You know, I came to learn about mountain biking, but I'm leaving with a wealth of knowledge around lands conservation, as well as the community that surrounds this sport. Now all that's left to do is find a couple piggy banks so I can afford one of these bad boys and get back up here as soon as possible.